Ole Gunnar Solskjaer played for the club for 11 years, coached the reserves for 3.5. And now he proudly takes charge of a club whose history he played a part in defining. And it's Rashford! And it's the perfect start for the caretaker boss.
Nemanja Matic puts United ahead. The first goal of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first home game. A second successive win in his second game as Manchester United manager.
It's like a flashback. That old swagger has returned. Their glorious history had cast its shadow over Old Trafford, but with a legendary figure from those heady days now in the dugout, Manchester United's present has at least some of the past's exhilaration. 5 goals scored against Cardiff. They hadn't struck that many in a single league match since Alex Ferguson's final game. A happy new year seems to be on the cards.
I want my team to play in a certain way, and you give them little pointers here and there, and it's a work in progress. That's what it is. It's going to take time for players to go from one manager and the details he wanted, and I've got a little bit of a tweak, so it will improve as time goes on.
A new name on the door of the manager's office, but the same man in charge of the purse strings. So, with the transfer window imminent, will there be new faces in the playing staff? Alexis Sanchez returned to training this week, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer expects him and Romelu Lukaku to show the same revitalised motivation that Paul Pogba has demonstrated, a view shared by the fans.
Us as players want to be winning games, playing with confidence and going out and showing the fans that how much we do love this club. We want to get back to winning ways and winning trophies, and that's what we've got to do.
Pogba's transformation from sad-looking outsider, seemingly dissatisfied and unable to find his rhythm, to the powerful figure of flair and focus who can control a game, offers evidence that something was wrong, which has since been addressed.
That's the Paul I know. That's the Paul I have known since he was in the reserves and in the youth team. He's always been a happy boy. He's always had a big smile on his face, and Paul loves playing for this club. He's a Man United boy through and through. He's a kid that knows what it means to play for Man United.
Not so many smiles on the faces of those making the trip up from the south coast. Bournemouth have lost 7 of their last 9 matches, including a Boxing Day hammering at Wembley. A bad day all round. Defender Simon Francis ruptured a knee ligament in that match and could be out for 9 months. In the autumn, Eddie Howe's men were flying high. They're now outside the top half and bereft of confidence. Still, it's better than last season, when they were in the relegation zone at the halfway stage.
We obviously had a good start, but we've slipped off a little bit, so we need to get back to winning ways, training hard, which we always do, win, lose or draw. And hopefully that can go onto the pitch and we can take some good performances and wins.
The hopes of Howe's team, though, could be quashed by Solskjaer's re-inspired United.
Is that really all that was needed at Manchester United?
It looks like it, Kels.
I mean, they do have a good run of fixtures. After Mourinho went, the run of fixtures that Manchester United had have been easier fixtures than Mourinho's final game.
Yeah, but at the same time, Kels, I don't think that if he had the same fixtures, we'd be seeing the same results because of the attitude and the mentality that the players were in and the mental state that they were in at the time. It's a very good appointment, and obviously we're seeing the players almost as if like the shackles have been taken off. I saw football the other day from Manchester United, one-touch football that I've not seen for 2 years easily. The way they've opened teams up, and it can be that simple sometimes to bring someone in like that familiar face that all the players know and like, and they're just letting them enjoying it. It's fantastic because whatever anyone says, I see Man United like that really. You know what I mean? It was getting ridiculous with how miserable he was. It was bringing everyone. It wasn't just bringing Man United down. It was bringing the whole Premier League down. Miserableness.
Also because he pulled so much attention to him, and it's also like he was getting in that stage, the similar stage where he was at Chelsea at the end. You understand that he wasn't happy there, the club wasn't happy with him. At Man U, I think it was the same thing. I just felt it was just a matter of time, and the way he was playing. It's very difficult, I get it. You come from an era of Ferguson that was playing attacking football. It's very hard for a manager then to come there and change the momentum and be more defensively built. What then comes, you bring a new manager, the players are going to feel different because they know they're all starting from scratch and got to prove themselves again to either stay in the team or get in the team. He brings the lightness, the happiness, the stuff that the team needs is playing football in a way that has to do with scoring goals and entertain. And I think this is what they're doing right now. So that's why you have the likes of the Pogbas and the guys are smiling, they're scoring goals. It doesn't help as well if you become the new manager and one of your best players scores 2 goals, 2 assists, in the last couple of games you played. I mean, that says, of course, that sets a tone and saying like, okay, so that was the biggest problem.
When you look at Pep Guardiola and the managers who are known for that detailed tactical analysis, the instructions, the really precise instructions that they give to players, when you have a squad of talented players, as you said, Paul Pogba, World Cup winner, one of the best players in the world, one of the most expensive players in the world. Is it sometimes, and we're not suggesting that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Mike Phelan and the rest of the coaching staff aren't doing anything on the training ground, but is it sometimes as straightforward as saying, you're great players, do what you feel is the right thing to do?
My personal opinion about Paul Pogba is this. I feel sometimes they don't play him in the right position. Because I don't think that Pogba is the player that needs to be sitting in front of the defense. He needs to have the freedom to be able to attack and influence the game in a position where it affects the team. You think players the other way, he's not going to have the energy now and the focus to do the other job. And I never liked it when I saw that. I saw it for France. Before they won the World Cup at the Euro, he was doing Kanté's job for France. Hated it. When he moved forward and they won the World Cup, it became a different player. That's how he played for Juventus. And that's how I want to see him play here. His strength is his creativity, and it's just the freedom and the influence he can bring to other players.
I think this is his state of mind as well, because saying that as well, Mario, I do agree with you to a certain extent there, but when you look at Paul Pogba in some of the games that he should have had a lot more influence on for Manchester United, playing in a position where he was more in advance and could have done, he just played poorly, and it's not because of anything other than his state of mind. You're totally right. He needs to be playing with a sense of freedom, and he's got a natural flair about him where it's all about how he's feeling and what he does, and that is how you're going to get the best out of Paul Pogba. You know, his state of mind has to be right, because he seems to me like a free, fun-loving, life-loving kind of guy.
Yeah.
And so when you look at him like that and you put him in this kind of situation, that's what you can get. And unfortunately for him, Mourinho couldn't get that out of him.
But the accusation against him was that he was sort of sulky and petulant under Mourinho.
I think that's rubbish. I think that when you see him after games, when you see him in the tunnel, even when he was about to, when we saw him have that little flash of argument with the manager, he was jovial. He ran over, and then Mourinho said something, and that's when he got serious.
Yeah.
He seems to me like somebody who was continuously happy. He was being suppressed by Mourinho, if you ask me. And what we're seeing now is somebody who's freer in his mind and to play his football. And long may that continue for him. I don't think...
Who has an infectious personality that if he's not happy, that can spread throughout the team. But if he is happy, it can actually add to the mood in the
He's a focal point in the dressing room.
You know, all the lads will be happy. They'll be probably unhappy if he's unhappy.
Yeah.
You know, they would be. I mean,
you're also asking us. I mean, like, you know, I haven't been with Riley in the dressing room, but I can imagine he's also a focal point in the dressing room. I was it myself, too. If we both can't speak and be ourselves, I cannot imagine that we won't affect the dressing room.
It was hard, Kels.
It's tough.
I remember the Bruce Rioch times. I was trying to be happy because it's for the team. You can't be unhappy around the team because they've got to do what they've got to do. But I could see that the guys were unhappy for him because they always keep telling me, keep your head up, keep going. And, you know, and it kind of brings everything down. So I think that's what may have been happening at United. And
we're seeing the effect of it on the pitch. You know, we've seen big wins for them against Cardiff, against Huddersfield.
Which they
They've
should
got Bournemouth coming up in this game. And that's what I was going to ask. It's all well and good being happy and expressing yourself on the pitch. It's going to come a point where they're going to have to play a team that they might have to be defensive
but then-
against, or more defensive.
Yeah, but like, it's brilliant that they've had the 2 games that they've had, because what that's done is given them 2 games for them to play and play confidently, win them pretty convincingly as well, because that will build momentum and it will build confidence. And then while they're doing that, Mike Phelan behind the scenes and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be making sure that they're more solid at the back. But then as they get into these more crucial games and more critical games against better teams, Mario, they will be ready for them.
Yeah.
You know, that's all what's happening now is, like you mentioned earlier, Kels, they've got a run of games that are very, very, they're very
it's
nice.
Bournemouth, Newcastle, Reading, before they play Tottenham away on the 13th of January.
So by the time they get to Tottenham, Kels,
man.
they should be in a good place, and we'll be looking forward to that game in a different kind of, with a different expectancy.
Yeah, because they would be confident. The confidence is the key, and I think that's what they were kind of losing, because you don't know what you were going to get from them, right? One game, they might draw a game, then they win a game, then they lose one, and we were like, okay, it's okay. And at one point, we didn't even care that much anymore because it became a normality.
Yeah.
Well, that should have never been the case. You're Man United. This is the team that I was watching, you know, as a kid coming to play in England, because they were the glory boys. So that's what that team needs to get back, and I think that's what he's bringing back. One, you bring an icon back, you change the way you play, everybody's happy, because now you're playing the football that everybody's used to. This guy goes back. He said it himself. He called Ferguson, spoke to him about the game. So that means that they were setting him up before we even knew about it.